Bentley!
Well, good morning and welcome to Rebellion Off-Road. Today's episode is going to be a hodgepodge of things. I'm on call this weekend, so I have some prior work obligations that doesn't allow me to travel out of town, so we usually do these little garage installs, and today's no exception. What we're going to plan to do is install this light. It's by Alfina. It's the Tech Slim 7, and it's the same one that I have on my Jeep currently right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and come up with a system here for Colleen's Jeep. And for hers, with this particular tire mount, I noticed that she's got these little sleeves here, and I imagine that it does something above here. I don't know exactly what the plans are though are for these holes. I don't know. I think this is a Mopar heavy duty spare tire support. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to try and find some. I think I'm going to use some square tubing, some aluminum, and we're going to bring it on both sides and across the top here so that we can have the light cast past the tire. And I think these lights here are just you know, a godsend for at night when you need to back into somewhere, and just some extra light. And I'll show you that on my Jeep how I've done now. Okay, and on my Jeep I've installed one at the back here. It's Alfina. I was lucky enough to have this third brake light, so I came up with a bracket system here that houses that light, and it shines over where I need it to go. So we're going to try and do that on Colleen's Jeep, or at least get it started. I don't know if I'll be successful enough to finish that today, but like I said, we have a hodgepodge of things going on today. I know Bentley, he's going to be out and about here shortly. So we'll talk a little bit about our newest edition of Rebellion Off-Road. He was on our last episode. We went out to the mountains, and he enjoyed it. We didn't give him as much of a spotlight as maybe we should have, but he's coming. Don't worry. He'll be along for a few more of those. And I can't make it solely about Mr. Bentley, but we'll do our best to include him. Just like Ruby, it's actually Rebellion Off-Road came from her. So, you know, we have a bunch of things we have to show throughout our videos, and hopefully everybody's entertained by them. Other than that, well, let's get started. Now, I don't have the blessings of a huge shop to do this in, so I'm working out of my garage, so it's a little messy, and our presentation might be, you know, a little weak, but I bought some aluminum square channel, some tubing that I think I'll be using for this project, being that it's lightweight, it's easy to cut, it's not going to rust on us, which is another thing. So as everybody who knows or owns a Jeep with a big tire on the back, they have a lot of weight to them. So what I'm hoping to do is cut these and put them into place, and maybe I might even do some bed armor on it just to cover it. And they say that it does take to aluminum. It's just on the preparation. So I'm going to do that. And what I got laid out so far is, you know, the light. I got some wire loom, some wires, some trailer wire. Because that, I'm going to bring a few extra circuits to the back, because you never know what you're going to need back there. And that gauge is like number 12. It's plenty thick is what I want to say. And then my square tubing, which I'll have to do some work on and drilling and so forth. But stay tuned. I just ended up taking off the third light that they have on the Jeep. The 2021s, this assembly that Jeep's put together is absolutely crazy. I think if you're in any cold climate and you had to change a tire, you'd probably freeze to death. It's very time consuming taking it apart. You know, you have to take the lights off, all these brackets off. It's just, it's not conducive of a safe time taking this tire off for sure. But it has to be done in order for me to expose what I need to expose. Okay, so I removed the spare tire. It's off now. And now it exposes these two areas that I'd like to utilize for that third light. I'm going to do some sort of bracket system, or see what I can do with the aluminum anyways. Yeah, it's got to be what they're using it for. There must be maybe some Rotopacks that they have on a... I haven't searched this one out. I think it's a Terraflex, but it could be a Mopar one, being that the dealership installed this one. So anyhow, I'm going to work with that, and we'll check back here. I think what I want to do is keep it up about 20 inches. That's where mine is on my Jeep. So, you know, you're not interfering too much with the back window. Not that it does anyways. It's just a tiny little light, but it definitely will assist Colleen from backing up and into dark areas. Okay, some progress here. By no means are these straight yet, but this is kind of the system that it's going to be. They'll ride into the rails here. I'll put one bolt on each side. It's just to hold it. I've loosened this carrier off. These are kind of like a half moon shape, so I'm only going to go so far, but as you can tell at the back here, it's going to be a flush fit. And then when I sandwich this back up together, it's going to be supported by this metal in here. So I think I'll have a pretty solid base. It's not going to go anywhere. And then I'm going to put one across here yet. And then that's where my light's going to fasten to. Now you got to remember when you're doing drilling into anything that you put a backer on the back side here. So when you're drilling in through, you're not going to hit your paint at all. So always put something in the back. If you did not know this, just save you a whole bunch of grief with the wife. Is I put one of these things called a spring nuts. They're also for unistruts, and what it does is you can slide them in the 1-inch tubing, and then what I did is I pushed it all the way down to where this hole was. And then the reason why I'm doing this is that I don't want to put any bolts on the other side, or nuts I should say, on the other side here, unless I really have to. I want to keep it nice and clean, and I don't really want it to really bolt into this so that it snaps this. I just want it to support it. Like I said, it's wedged in here, so there's no way it's going to move around side to side. I just want to prevent it from rattling a bit, so it won't rattle after all the spray armor's on it and everything, but just, you know, I'm cautious that way. And then if it ever does get hit, there's a bit of room back and forth in here that it's not going to bust this mount. So it's kind of just a safety thing. Okay, so that's the way it looks. There's a little spring, and it just gets slid all the way down. So how do I do that? I grabbed one of these woodworking vices. Let me get it in the camera here. And then what I did is I set it up so that it stops shy of that hole. So all I do is I push down on it so it goes all the way down to where the hole is, and then that'll stay there. And then once I take it apart there, it's going to remain in that tubing. It's not going to go anywhere. And if I have to adjust it, you can do it with one of those little pin hooks and put it back in place. But I'll do that before I put it all back together. I just want to kind of get it kind of sort of where I want it to be. And then I got to work on the top here. Pushed on a little bit further now. I get so involved in the stuff that I forget sometimes to record. But anyways, I'll show you what I've done thus far. So that's what it looks like so far. I fastened it to this flat aluminum piece. I got these two rods installed now, these flat bar, they're 1-inch by 1-inch. I had to sand some of them down just a little bit to fit in this notch here. So I did that. Same on the other side. Fastened it through with one bolt. Well, I got the tire back all on. I put the brake light back on. That's just this way it goes. So what it is in order to get this off, this tire off, you have to take these bolts out. Then you got to take this cover off, this cap cover off the camera, pull that off. You have to disconnect underneath here to get this light off. And then you got to pull off the nuts in order to get the tire off. Like if you had to do that in the frickin' cold, you would die trying to change a tire. So I don't know, Jeep, come up with a better idea. That's a terrible one. So that's what it looks like, finished product on the back of Colleen's. I don't have it wired up yet. That'll be the next phase. I'm going to clean out the garage real quick. And that's what it looks like there. All the way down. Now, I asked Colleen if she wanted to bed liner this, and she said no. She kind of likes it the way it is right now. So we can always change. It's not a big... This GoPro keeps cutting out and in and out and in and out. Time to get a new camera. I think we're going to go try something different. Good morning. Or good afternoon, whatever we're at now.
Hey, good morning, or afternoon.
So what do we got?
Paul and I went out and purchased these storage boxes for the back of the Jeep. They're pretty decent, actually. We purchased them from Princess Auto, and they were on sale for like 30 bucks, right, Paul?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, 30 bucks. So these little handles come off, and I mean, I've got everything but this kitchen sink in there. It's just a safety box of everything. Whatever we may need on the road while we're out. Do you want to talk about this?
What?
The pole?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then besides, no, it's all right. Besides the the storage container, we also purchased one of these bars. So when we're taking our long trips down to wherever, we can actually hang some clothes if we have to, or whatever, right? They come in handy to have these bars. They extend out, and they've got a little clip here, so it locks down. They were also at Princess Auto for about $29, right?
Yeah,
About
they're
$29.
nice. They're nice. You can secure your loads in there a little bit better. It's a ratcheting bar, so it's able to stretch right across and keep the loads contained. We got like coolers in here in summertime, and you know, we don't want them flying around inside the Jeep, and it just, I think it secures your loads. And if you want to hang something, you can hang something, right, Cole?
Yeah, like long trips, if you have clothes that, you know, that you're going out in and you don't want them wrinkled in a suitcase, it's always nice to have some things hanging up, easy to find, right? So I guess the update, yes, I have my Jeep back, but no, it's not 100% fixed. So the wobble is fixed. They did replace the steering dampener. They need to fix a leaky shock, and also contemplating a total rebuild under the transfer case for the 4x4. You go with it, and hopefully they get it fixed for me, and my Jeep is 100% up and running. So
Okay, so what I did is I just did a tie wrap, and I just taped the wires on. I actually separated it because the 4 are too wide to fit into that kind of circumference there. So once again, just, I don't know if you can see me here, get out here a bit. Just put this in. Once you get it started, it goes fast. Just it gets hooked up in here. Then you just pull it along, like so. And that's how you overcome that wire loom. And the wire's just feeding in.
Bentley, what are you doing?
So under here, I'm just running your wires to the back. Strap it up later, but it's going to go all the way to the back and out to the trunk area.
Okay.
When you're doing this, you're just trying to get it so that it's not near any hot pipes.
Bentley. Bentley. Bentley.
Are you trying to help, or are you trying to take out whatever I do? What do you want there, bud?
Get him.
I need to be on wheels just to ignore you. Go get him.
Hellions on the loose. He holds his own though. Wow. Hey?
Okay, for my favorite places under the Jeep, I'll just show you. I've run it in through up and above. That'll all be tie wrapped here shortly. It'll be away from the heat and the exhaust. I run it through the frame all the way up to the front here behind the fender well, and then I go up and I tie wrap it all the way up to the top there. I'll finish that off a little neater when I'm done, but all that'll be nicely supported. This won't affect anything. You can hit snow, you can hit, there's some flexibility in here. I always leave some slack in here, so it's running loose in the frame. And it's all protected, so yeah, it'll be all nicely tie wrapped. You won't even notice it. That's up here, and I go up through the back and out to the very tailgate there, and it should be all good to go. You bugging your ruse? It's bugging me too. Okay, so we got the wires all fed up here. Colleen, you want to show the back here? So we've run through the bumper, the actual hitch, that square tubing up here, so it's all protected. Comes back up through the bumper. We've got a tie wrap to the casing, which is plastic. And it goes all the way up and into the back of that channel right in here. A little hard to see, but then we filled up the top there. Just going to tin all the wires. We'll make this splice and we'll be done. Now it's important to know your colors that you're using. In this case, I'm going to be using the green for ground. It's going to be my negative, and my lighter yellow will be my positive. These are just little heat shrink I put on, and we'll tape it, and then it'll be good to go. But always make sure to do these because it's the number one thing that we forget. I didn't separate the wires long enough. All I care about is getting these on. There, it's perfect. There's some crimps you can get with a fatter end for the bigger size wire, and then the smaller size goes on the other side. So it works quite well. You crimp them.
The big guns come out.
You won't even see it, but it won't allow water to sit in there. Water's not going to sit in here, but this we got from Amazon. It's called the VO switch. It's really actually quite well. The only thing I don't like about it is the negative you have to bring externally, whereas on the S pod, the S6 I think it's called, or whatever, on my Jeep, the negative terminal's inside, which makes more sense to me. But this is what it is. There, tested, true. So I got my grounds done. Just do a quick test. Everything's done. Clean off the Jeep here before we close things on it. The final test. Right, and it works. Look at that. It'll shine up everything that she needs. We'll do another one when she goes outside.
The big reveal. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're bright, eh? Perfect for camping. Yeah, that's cool. That's Paul's. And there's my beast. Whew, those are great.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for coming along this time in the garage episode. We'll be having something special next time. I think we're going to an RV show that we've been invited to. So we're going to go have a look and see what new campers they have out there, new rigs for overlanding. That'll be next weekend, I hope. And then we'll be back on the trails again.
Yes. Yeah, back on the trails. More work being done on my Jeep.
Looks pretty good though, I think, you know.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
As long as Colleen's happy, we're happy. And saying all that,
yeah, we will.
See you on the next one. Hey, say bye.
Say bye, Bentley.
Say bye, Ruby. Bye, guys.